To CWL Champs Day, it's Day 2, 2017, presented by PlayStation 4. Chance, my man, welcome back to the side of Miles' left.
I appreciate being on the left side as always. It's a delightful time. It's been a year, honestly. Like, a year is too long to keep us apart. It's delightful as always.
Oh, I cannot wait to get into this one. We've got Ghost Gaming going up against TK in just a short moment. Both teams are 1-0 in the group so far. Actually, no, TK, they're not. They lost to Splice yesterday.
Yes, they did. Surprisingly, they lost to Splice, but they lost in map 5, which is not expected. Again, Splice has wins under their belt, like tournament wins, best team in the world, MVP 0 under their belt, and TK hasn't even been able to qualify for the Pro League. So TK's been struggling, but they go far. Of course, they fall short in the end, but TK, they've been turning some heads. They've been looking impressive, and this is a match, obviously, if they lose this, they're done. But if they win it, this pool becomes very interesting.
Yeah, that's going to change things very dramatically. Still, though, guys, we're going to get into this one shortly. Early predictions for this one, Chance. I mean, let's face it. TK, as you said, they haven't been in the best form recently. They barely made it into the global. They did make it into the global Pro League. Ghost Gaming, though, on the other hand, this is a team that they've got a lot to play for. Lacefield, he's hungry. He wants to get back into the limelight. He was great on C9 last year. He was my favorite player to watch at XP. I'm stoked to see what they bring today.
Yeah, I'm just going to preface this with a story. So after map 1, which I casted, or game 1, series 1, whatever it is, went to the bathroom. I come back and I'm walking past where all the players are set up and playing. Ghost Gaming, they are sitting outside before they get to their stations, and they're with their coach, and they all are cracking open binders that has TK's logo on the front, reading about everything that they're doing. So you talk about my expectations for this game. Ghost Gaming, that is easily the most prepped I've seen a team.
I got a feeling that binder had names and addresses, social security numbers. They've got these guys on lockdown. Let's get into game 1, ladies and gentlemen. Ghost Gaming TK. We're going to kick this one off with Llama God first into the hard point. Not first to die, though. Opening kills from Ghost Gaming looking sweet. Llama God gets 2. And there we go, Spacely cleaning up Gunjar, so that's going to be all dead for TK now back on a respawn. That's the start you want, Chance.
I mean, there's preparation, and then there's just straight-up gun skill of Llama God and Spacely just running through their opponent. But, yeah, just to kind of touch on what Ghost Gaming's been able to do. They come as a team, they show up at Anaheim, and they're trying to play just to be able to qualify in that last chance qualifier to make it in the Pro League. And they look like just an incredible team. They go into Anaheim, they go out on Friday. I think they go into their pools, and they keep just winning match after match. Anaheim didn't go as well as they would have liked, but we have seen kind of these guys at their best, and they are an absolute force to be reckoned with, and reflects in the score. They are up 40-0.
Yeah, TK yet to get themselves on the board. Oh, there we go. 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 4. Still now, they've got to answer back. Here comes the onslaught from Ghost Gaming. Big kills there from Theory on to Morks. Morks, big player. You call him Morks or Mouse? What do you call him? How do you pronounce that?
Mox.
Call him Morks? Good. Yeah, Morks is a hot player. He's fantastic to watch. Extremely exciting. We'll see a little bit more of him later on. Llama God, though, still doing horrible, horrible things to the members of TK. So now pushing for his next hardpoint. A couple kills out. 2 for Gunjar on defense there, but still it is going to fall into the hands of Ghost as it is going to flip. 40 seconds here on Turbine remaining. As you can see, and still in the score, there's a pretty big disparity between the two teams. Although, you can see TK trying to get back into this one. Theory answers back with a couple of kills there on Lacefield. Now he's into the hard point, finally gets some more time for TK.
A lot of the times when you talk about how you want to break in a hill, you talk about, all right, grouping up together. If you're setting up a pinch, that's fine. Make sure to hit it. Work as a team. Work as a unit. I was watching Gunjar on the minimap. He was completely by himself, pushing for seemingly no reason. And then he goes up and just gives him the hands, picks up 2 kills, and breaks through nearly single-handedly for the team, and then had help coming up on the back line. So Gunjar, man on a mission. You talk about something like that, was trying to do it by himself. Interestingly enough, though, scrap time going to be completely given up by both teams as those players fall. It's going to be Spacely locking down the spawns, or you would have thought for his team, because Llama God just spawned out. I guess just bad timing on when he ended his last death. But Gunjar on the hill, able to pick up 2 once again, and TK going to come out on top.
Gunjar managed to get those 2. That was a bit of a surprise. I didn't expect him to get both of those guys. Still, though, this is accuracy now trying to hold down bottom. You can see that one player of Ghost Gaming on the side just down low is going to make his play shortly. This is Lacefield waiting for that perfect opportunity. Still, no one quite committing from Ghost in the breaking of the TK setup, and that was Lacefield trying to make something happen here, and Mort's coming in from above, so nice timed pinch. The war above was won, but the war down low was easily lost there. Still, the boys on TK now tied things up 60-60 at this point. Ghost just taking the lead. But what a wonderful comeback from what was a bit of a disastrous beginning for TK.
Yeah, it was definitely looking a little bit rough, but it is going to be Ghost with about a 20-point lead going in a drill. But you can already see accuracy. He's completely set up for it. He can feel the pressure, but his teammates are actually coming as well. And you see as soon as they pick up that kill on Lacefield, and that's who accuracy was looking for, turns right around, and he's going to be looking to kill players on the other side. Theory, though, gets a little bit too aggressive, runs right into the gunfire of Spacely, and now Ghost Gaming is making their move. It's going to be Spacely and Llama God, and by that, I mean it's just going to be Llama God, but Happy's going to return fire. He picks up 3 as well, and that's going to leave the hill empty just for a moment, as it's going to be contested. Mox, the guy we know to be a solid AR, has every weapon in hands that he needs, but still, it's going to be scrappy, and again, he's going to fall because of the nades right there. Llama God, though, going huge for the team. Very back and forth hill is Drill.
These guys are balls to the wall here on Drill. It is absolute pandemonium. It still looks like Ghost have finally managed to come out on top of this one. Still, TK, though, are knocking at the door. It's 2 players about to make the push. So here comes the play. Over the top, Lacefield manages to get that first kill, and straight away Goonjar comes in and picks that one up. So still, a little bit more time here for the boys on Ghost Gaming. Can Theory make a dent in these players? Hitting for that next rotation, 7 seconds away. He's firing at nothing but ghosts. And what did he hit? Absolutely diddly.
I mean, he was going for it, trying to get that pre-fire. That's not working out, but this has been almost an ERAD show. And as I say that, of course, Accurate picks up 2 with the K-bar. But either way, a lot of aggressive plays. Lacefield, he's just going to be flying at the opponent with the NV4. And Ghost Gaming, this is the setup they want. They force TK to all spawn up at that backside of the map. And you can see how aggressive Lacefield is. He's already pushed out in Hangar. He's got 3 players to dealing with. But despite the fact that he fell, that's a, 15 seconds that those players just have to waste just to get those first kills, just to get back into the hill. And by the time they get to the hill, not only are they dealing with more players for Ghost Gaming, Lacefield's going to be on the respawn anyway. Oh,
Happy just unable to make the most of that play there. He somewhat burnt the opportunity he had, but he still got 1 out of this. Still, this is TK back in the hill, 137.75 chance. Things are looking pretty good for the boys in red. TK not quite able to keep up. They're being outpaced kill for kill by the boys on Ghost Gaming. And man, it just goes to show that homework they did out in the corridor, it seems to be paying dividends for them already.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation where hardpoint, most teams are going to play it very similarly. The information you get are, do they use nades at the start? Do they use EMPs? How many ERADs do they have? How many K-bars? You get the basic stuff, but once the game's going, it's just all about those instincts. You actually saw the start they had was fantastic. Maybe the information worked out for them, but after that, it could very well be a back and forth game. And there you see TK once again on Turbine. This is the same story as the first time around. They get control, and that's where they're able to tie things up before going into Hangar. TK trying to do the same.
Yeah, TK. They're bending, but they will not break just yet. Theory managed to take 2 down there and a team kill on Goonjar. Lovely kill on Llama God as well, keeping the run going. Will be dropped. Theory, though, still keeping it real. That is Happy on a 3 streak. This is Spacely on your screen at the moment, and as you can see, TK getting back into this one, 140 to 125. Happy has got the help of his teammate behind him. There's 2 players, TK on his rear at the moment, so he's going to be watching the back, making sure no one comes in from the high ground or from that doorway. But as you can see, his teammates have just been taken down the rear, so he's got to swap position. Still, scrap time now being grabbed. That was a solid hold for TK. They've now finally got the lead. This is opposing. It's setting up to be a real interesting game, Chance.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just the benefit you see of those money hills, how important they are. TK, by the way, they're working the back spawns right now. It looks like Goonjar all the time. We see him on the intros, the hills, always picking up kills. Ghost Gaming, though, they might be able to come out on top. Spacely in the back line is able to take down the kill on accuracy, and that is their first solid defensive hold. Now you see TK. They're spawning all the way back at Turbine. I'm assuming these players are going to wait for the teammates, but no, Theory doesn't care that 2 teammates are still all the way over in Hangar. He's just going to fly in, and he's going to fall because of it. And now it's going to be accuracy Happy. Well, now it's a 2v4 once again.
Yeah, Theory probably should have cared there, man. He really went in there and did a whole lot of nothing for his team. Still, though, 25 seconds left here on Hangar. You see, here comes TK. They're going to take a nice 2-pronged approach. Accuracy picks up 2 there with the K-bar, and now Spacely, last guy alive in the point, and he's going to be dropped from the side. Goonjar coming in as well, getting Llama God. That's a clean sweep for TK. 12 seconds left.
It works a lot better when you wait for your entire team. Again, we've seen a couple examples of that from TK where there's just 1 or 2 players that just get way too aggressive. I mean, if you pick up the kills, you make the big play, great, you look like a hero. But if not, you're just going to be costing your team. So obviously, a bit of the dichotomy there of what the different players were going through in their heads. Still, though, on Drill, the first time around, it was incredibly back and forth. Big plays coming out of both sides.
Yeah, let's see if they can repeat history here. Mork's picking up a 2-piece there. Happy, FTL's in, and it is going to pay off. Already gets 1, gets 2. Accuracy in the back. Spacely's going to be the last player alive for Ghost Gaming. He's going to be still doing the work. The accuracy gets the kill. So this is, again, back and forth. It's represented in the score. There's 35 seconds left on this hard point, and for all we know, this is going to be a Ghost Gaming lead by the end of this one because, let's face it, after this push, they're probably going to flip again and take it all back. 3 kills already for the boys in TK, and Ghost Gaming are now on the back foot.
Yeah, massive props to Happy on that play. He actually read the flank coming out of Llama God. If Llama God is able to pick up 1 there, it blows the entire hill open, and Ghost would have been able to come back through. But instead, TK, they're going to have themselves a pretty nice lead. To their credit, though, it has been Ghost Gaming that's been getting the edge on that first hard point, the bridge, but still, it's been Turbine. If Ghost can't win that, they're not going to be able to win the game. That's where TK has thrived. So I know I'm about 60 seconds in advance, but this is going to be going through the back of these players' minds.
Yeah, you're already seeing Theory sitting up top here, doing what he can. Camo is almost ready to go for him. We talked about TK not being the hottest team coming into this competition, but they're certainly here to play, looking to make a difference, get their first win in the groups. Theory heavily outgunned there by Spacely in that E-Red on E-Red engagement. Ghost Gaming now in control of bridge, 36 seconds remaining. Big kill from Happy there, so if you can't find a second, he and actually can push together, but the timing seems to be a little bit off. He's going to go in staggered, and that's not going to pay off for them. Laceville gets 2, Morks gets 1, and Goonjar's now left holding his own hand. That was a tough push, and already Ghost Gaming getting back into this one. 221 to 190, and it's going to be closing after this.
And I love some of the teamwork you saw there from Ghost Gaming as well. You see, as soon as Spacely gets that first kill, all 4 red arrows instantly flood. More importantly, on the far left side of your minimap, you see that Centurion gets placed. That's going to be down in favor of Ghost Gaming. Again, they were setting up way far in advance. Accuracy, though, he was able to still get behind enemy lines. He didn't walk past the Centurion. He's picking up 2, going for 3 as well. Doesn't find it, so it is going to be Ghost Gaming with that early control. And again, that Centurion, they can place more emphasis over inside this lab. They don't have to worry about the elbows much. Still, though, players getting across the back line, trying to make these big plays, and, well, TK comes out on top.
Here we go, TK coming through this one, 226. They got control of the hard point, and there's no red arrows in position to really make a difference here. Morks has to wait for his team. He's got Llama God coming on the wall run just behind him, but they don't have enough time. They need to make something happen here. This is getting very, very dangerous for Ghost Gaming, and here comes the push. Morks is going to open this one up with Camo. He's not going to go for anything just yet. He's waiting for the perfect time. He's got the information he needs. Guess one. Can he find anyone on the turn? It looks like his teammates came in behind and took care of it. So that was a solid retake. 10 points left for TK. Ghost Gaming have to get every second of this hard point and hit the next rotation perfectly.
Well, it's going to be an interesting decision. Right now, it's Mox inside the hill. At some point, he should probably just lead this early because they are desperate to get inside this hangar hill. And if he's not there to support his team, it might be costing. He gives up a solid 4 seconds, but honestly, it might have been smart to give up more because now TK is racking up time, 8 seconds, and they have the game.
Yeah, this is going to be a few more seconds left. Spacely, though, getting those big kills. He's managed to flip it back. TK, though, here they come in through the backside. Trophy systems down. Do we take care of those nades? Laceville finds 1. Llama got a second. The continuing push, though, from TK. They've got to get in there and make something work. It's getting dangerously close. Ghost Gaming, 240 now. 8 points remaining. Can they do it here? What a turnaround. TK have thrown this one away. It was their game to lose. No one's in position to get anything here. And it is going to be a... Oh, they're contesting it! Ghost Gaming finally able to clean that one up. What a recovery. And that is Lacefield on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. He is up out of his seat. He's going to need to compose themselves because they've still got a series to play, but what a recovery.
I mean, that honestly is a pretty hype game. That's worth going back and rewatching to study for a little bit. I think that's the situation where TK, they made quite a few big plays, especially Goonjar on that first turbine hill. He basically buys his team 30 seconds, despite the fact that he's pushing by himself. But Ghost Gaming, that teamwork was outstanding. Again, Mox using the camo to full effect on that back turbine hill, not shooting the first guy, getting the guy off the head glitch, letting his teammates pick up the scraps, leaving the hill early, but then Spacely over the end, he's able to get behind enemy lines, he's able to stay under cover, waiting for his teammates to push up to the hill, and those trophy systems came up clutch.
Oh.
The fact that he had the state of mind to make sure to switch to the right class to have trophies, to where he's throwing him in the back, because you saw players throwing nades at him, and that notifies him, well, 1, it keeps him safe, 2, it says there's a player right here for me to jump up and pre-fire. So again, smart, intelligent plays coming out the entire time from Ghost Gaming. The teamwork was there, but again, TK, I don't think many people had high expectations coming into this, but they have definitely looked like a force.
Yeah, they're dressed to impress so far, and as you saw, what an incredible run so far. Again, they had a fantastic game, five-game series up against Splice yesterday, and now we've got a whole new kettle of fish to play for. And this is big, because if TK can get the win, the graphic is technically incorrect, but if TK can get the win in this series, that is going to be absolutely massive for the pool. It's going to change the groups entirely because, again, we've got Ghost Gaming on 1 win, we've got Splice on 1 win. If they can tie things up here, it changes who gets out of this one, and it's going to make the rest of the day extremely exciting to watch. There we go, boys and girls. Ghost Gaming, 250 to 242. I must admit, TK, that was their game to lose. They had full control. Things were looking great for them. I felt like they lost composure towards the end shots.
I mean, again, it comes down to that hangar hill. It can just be so intense. And I mean, granted, for them, they could have went on Turbine if it wasn't for the camo plays, but they had one opportunity to hold. They did not get strong enough. They just couldn't deal with Spacely. Spacely made the play in the back of the map, but obviously just going to be a team effort. Now, the thing I'm most curious about is the preparation that Ghost Gaming put in. Again, we kind of brought it up at the start of this, they were pulling out binders of just information they have on Team Kaliber. There's a couple things at play. For hardpoint, you can really only get opening strats, and then you can learn about the classes that your opponents use, which works out if you know you need to have trophy systems to defend against nades, stuff like that. But in Search and Destroy, you can learn everything. You can learn reactions for players. You can learn how they react to different situations. Do teams like to wrap around as a team? Do they let one guy watch the flank? Do they like to quad stack bomb sites? How do they play offense? What do they favor? You can learn everything, and that's on top of, do they like to snipe? What kind of classes do they use? How many nades do they throw? The information you can gather for Search and Destroy is just a lot to deal with, and obviously we get to see how does Ghost respond.
Well, we'll see how we go on Breakout Search and Destroy. That is going to be coming up next. We do have a technical issue, boys and girls. We will be very happy to sit with us through this one. Still, first game was already a bit of a blinder. Nobody expected TK to come out so swinging, but thus far, things are good. They haven't made it in the GPL. You know, the guys on Ghost Gaming, they didn't necessarily make it in the Stage 2 playoffs, but they had a lot to play for. They were pretty excited. I think there was a social media blunder that went out on the Saturday night. Well, I don't want to call it, I don't know what to call it, so we'll call it that. But still, very, very exciting stuff so far here at COD Champs. We're on day 2. Group stages are almost finished. After this, we're going to the brackets, and that's where things get really spicy. We had a little look at the brackets already, but enough of that crap. Let's take a look at the hardpoint box. This is how it all went down, and Chance, what a story so far. 91-54. It was so back and forth between these teams at the beginning of the match, and even during the middle. It was only in the final moments that things really got spicy.
Right. I mean, the Bridge Hill, I think the majority of that time in favor of Ghost Gaming really just comes down to that opening break. They started off the game up like 39-4, and so after that, the Hills are going to be kind of close. TK, again, they consistently were making the big plays on Turbine. The problem for them at the end was, well, they had to deal with camo. There's only so much you can do. Hanger, obviously, Ghost Gaming, that's the hill they won it off of. Again, just the teamwork was phenomenal in the end. And again, just kind of want to touch on the difference between the two teams. TK multiple times had kind of just one player, just flying in the hill trying to make the big play, which again, if it works out, great. If it not, it's going to cost you. You think about it was Theory working in tandem with, I think, Accuracy or Happy, pushing down the hallway. Well, his teammates were 100 feet behind him. They push in and die. They get nothing out of it. Well, the next two take their turn. Well, they go all the way around, wait for their teammates, push them together, and instantly break. So it's a situation where if they're trying to work as a team, they had quite a bit of success. I think there's just, a couple mistakes that could definitely be fixed, but it's COD Champs. You got to fix them very, very quickly.
Yeah, that's the story of COD Champs so far. It doesn't mean who's winning the games, it's who's making the mistakes and throwing those games away. Speaking of games, Breakout, Search and Destroy is going to be coming up next. Chance, where do you put these two teams in terms of Search and Destroy? We've seen them play already on the hardpoint. You've definitely got a lot more experience casting these guys thus far this year. How do you think it's going to go?
Well, again, for TK, for me, it's just I would have given Ghost the edge until I saw TK play against Splice. But even thinking back to the map 5 that TK had, they got beat. I think it was 6-2 on Crusher. And the plays that they were making, again, similar to the hard point, they had players with E-Rads that were just like flying out to crates, not peeking the corner or anything, and just running to NV4s across map and just get obliterated. And they were making not even small mistakes, just kind of blatant errors like that in Search. Again, that could be Crusher specific. Maybe their strats for Breakout are better. But again, with the prep work that Ghost Gaming has, which the teamwork that they have been shown to have, I have to imagine they have the edge going in this game.
Well, let's see if that edge is going to be helping them going in this one. It's Breakout. We've seen plenty of it so far. We've seen tons of it throughout the year on IW. A lot of hand-holding on this map. A lot of dog piles, especially towards showers. We'll see if we don't get a little bit more of that going here into this one. Chance, we never expected TK to make it very far, but they're here. And I'm hoping for them to take the Search and Destroy and make a real series of this one. We'll kick this one off with Goonjar. He's going to be the bomb carrier for TK. I wonder if anybody's running a snipe. I wonder if we got a sniper or two for these boys. Either way, engagements are going down quite early. Oh, Theory's doing it, Theory. Thank you, son. See if he can't make a big play happen here.
Well, so here's the problem with Theory. Sniping on this map, it's essentially really if you can get those opening kills, if you can get the break sort of.
Can anybody give me a bottle of water?
If nobody ever peeks, then you don't get first bloods, and the snipers are going to kind of cost you sort of thing. And you see here, Theory, his entire team right now, they're just waiting for something to happen, but you don't get the first bloods, nothing can happen.
Theory, not able to make anything happen just yet. Back on the rotation, though. Both teams now making their way towards B. Boys on Ghost Gaming slowly but surely cottoning on to this one, and they are going to come up behind the members of TK here, so this is going to be big. They need to get that bomb down, though. Theory, he's cottoned on. Oh, he hits the box. He doesn't get lacefield. Happy goes down. Finally finds one kill. He will be dropped immediately. Now it's all on a Goonjar.
And Goonjar's dead. Again, if you have the snipe, if you don't get those first picks, it can be difficult. If he hits that shot, you might very well have a 2 versus 2 situation. Of course, the 2v2, he was probably going to fall immediately anyway. Again, with that sniper, you're just going to get traded out quickly. So his teammate would have been in a difficult spot, but he missed, and that just turns it into a 3 versus 0 very, very quickly. So again, Ghost Gaming, maybe they have that information. Theory likes to snipe. They didn't really peek anything. They showed face mid-map ever so briefly, but did a good job of not falling, and they take that first round win.
Sweet adaptation. It paid off for him. We've got Ghost Gaming now on offense. Let's see what they can bring to the table. Space is going to be a bomb carrier. And it looks like so far it's going to be a pretty big wrap towards A. 2 members of TK in position to slow this one down. And already quite the gunfight. Lacefield coming out on top there, happy. We've got TK a man down already.
And again, we'd have to ask Ghost specifically what their prep work is. You see Space gets another kill. Accuracy actually going huge back in cell block to pick up 2 kills to make this even. But you see TK, their strategy, they had kind of 2 players that went to A and the other 2 players focused on mid-map and that B bomb site. Ghost Gaming said, okay, we're going to send 4 over aggressive. And again, if that's information they know from the get-go, that they're only going to have 2 players in the A. Obviously, they're trying to use that to their benefit. Of course, rounds play out. If someone makes big plays like Accuracy just did, anything can happen, but still, the wrap has come in. Looks like Lamagod's going to be able to potentially get this bomb down. It's certainly open right now, but Theory, he's definitely sensing something, working around the BAP, and this is actually a decent place to have a sniper rifle, but he needs to make sure to get this pick.
Oh, what a pick it was indeed. Lamagod goes down. That's huge. Mork's now on his own, but the bomb did get planted. So now, the advantage, albeit slight, is in the hands of Ghost Gaming. Morks has got to get these players on the bomb site if he can. He does have a nade to work with. But is it going to be enough? As you can see, the players have already managed to swarm the bomb site. Here they come. Goes for the 1 engagement. Does get dropped immediately there. Peeled like a banana. Theory and Accuracy are going to be able to get the defuse there. That was pretty huge. He almost managed to take the 1v1. But again, thankfully, the members of TK, they played the numbers they had. And those 2 players managed to push Morks on his own. Not let that one get out of hand quickly. That's TK on the board 1-1.
Yeah, and that's actually, again, I said it before, a very good spot for the sniper if he gets the pick, because Mox in that 1v2, well, now he can't really peek because he knows he might just be jumping in the pre-aim of a sniper rifle. And, of course, he ended up just getting traded out because there was 2 people anyway. So, again, the sniper does have its uses, but if you're not hitting your shots, you can't have it. It'd be interesting to see how long Theory plans to stick with that strategy as TK mixing things up and heading over towards this B-bomb site.
I'm more curious than anything to know if the fact that, like, Theory snipes is actually in that book. Like, if there's something that's legitimately written down that, like, yeah, every round he's going to be running snipe, and it may or may not pay off for them. He's still doing it. 3 in a row. At least he's put on a show for us. Still, regardless. You can see all members of Ghost Gaming swarming around A. No one's quite looking at B side, but there is a big wrap happening. They know that the play isn't going to be going down towards A. And Theory, another one on Lamagod. He's doing the damage, man. Goonjar and Happy haven't got kills on his team yet, but I'm not sure if this is a big enough payoff. He is going to be watching the flank now. This could be huge if he can catch Lacefield again. On the run, doesn't manage to make it work. Can he find him again? No, 2 in a row. He does have the help of Goonjar and Accuracy. Now it's all on Morks. Going in for the charge. You can smell the blood. Making it work.
So he's like hitting shots that are insane. Like the pick he got off the player, I think it was Lamagod that planted the bomb and ran in medbay. I don't know how he hit that shot. And now he has Lacefield. He's like pre-aiming corners, walking around, he's missing those. So like, I have no idea what's going through Theory's mind. But again, if you have the sniper, if you're getting kills, there's obviously success that's going to be there. And frankly, I think this could have easily been a game right now where Ghost Gaming is up 2-1, I think because of their prep. But again, Accuracy in the last round in cell block, when he sat back, he made the big kills. And that's what TK was able to do in the hard point. They were making big plays.
Oh, speaking of big plays, there's a wrap towards all 4 players of Ghost have made their way round. Only Theory saw 1. But now this is going to be huge. As soon as they hit that outside wall run, they're going to be caught. You can see 3 of them. 1 just made their way through. The engagement is now going down, and it's looking very, very good so far for both teams. Happy got 2. Lacefield got 2. He misses another shot. So now it's to a 2-on-2. Lacefield and Morks versus Theory and Accuracy. Lacefield getting away by the skin of his teeth there. It's now a 2v1. Accuracy all in his lonesome.
And you see Lacefield sensed it as well. He immediately turned around and pre-aimed the challenge coming from the backside. Of course, he doesn't have that information, so he kept moving. And you see the teammates pushing out the back. So Accuracy, he's in an interesting spot. He might get fantastic timing, but it looks like the players are prepared. It has a player underneath, and it got a little bit interesting for a second, but they're going to be able to shut it down. And full credit right there to that round on Lacefield. Once Happy picks up that 2 kills with the ERAD, you think it's just going to be just a terrible situation. Obviously, Lacefield goes huge, and he gets 4 shots in the player as well. And you can see, actually, they were both very prepared for that. I don't know how they knew it was about to happen, but 2 players pre-aiming the wall run. Spidey senses, man.
Spidey sense, or is it the book?
It's probably Spidey senses for that one. I think you can actually wall run and jump over chop and like check it. we didn't get to see whether or not that happened. But if the book has something that specific, that coach needs all the money in the world.
I think we need to do like some sort of, like, we need an exorcist in here for that kind of thing. And here we go. Big opening play for TK. Gunjar gets 2, Happy gets 1. Theory doesn't manage to get anything that round, but why the hell not? Lacefield now, he's all by himself. He's looking very ronery. 5 kills, 4 deaths, and I think he's going to add a few more to this one. Happy not to be fooled by that one. 3-2. TK now finally taking the lead.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a great counter if they won the gunfights. Instead, they just get absolutely wiped. And again, situation Lacefield in 1v4, you just got to turn and run off the map as fast as you possibly can. You can't challenge that. If he was on streaks or something like that, I get it, but he was the player that fell the previous round, so he's got nothing to live for, essentially. Either way, though, still relatively early in the game. We're touching on about that halfway point, depending on how the game plays out. Theory, he's rocking with it, man. He's sticking with the sniper, and the players are headed that way.
Yeah, 6 rounds in a row, and let's see if he can make this one open up pretty big over the top. Can he find anything? He just misses those players. They were right behind him. Lace, nope. Llama God, nope. Theory, run for it, son. Actually, look at the minimap. Everyone on Ghost, they were like, he's got snipe, run for it. And now they've abandoned ship, and they've completely changed plans. They've booked it all the way towards A, and they've made it there really quickly. And the likes of TK, they haven't really adjusted to this. They've got Gunjar watching the flank. He's the only player who's going to be able to catch something. And now he knows. Here comes the retake from TK. I wonder how this is going to play out.
Well, they used the Scarab and that fell as well, so it was a free bomb point, but still this comes down to who's going to make the play, who's going to win the gunfights, because Prep can't help you with that. Of course, Happy, he has the FTL as well, but still that bomb's down an interesting spot. A lot of times players will just kind of freely hop the bomb. Not sure what the decision is here, but they got to force out this commissary push. You even see a couple players on the minimap. They've gone and stuck it, but that bomb is going to be hopped. Someone's going to have to slide in and check. The bomb's going to get defused in a second, and that's a round where not a single kill comes in until a half second before that round ends.
That was spectacular work there from TK. You saw Gunjar on his belly crawling towards the bomb. He knew he had the cover here of Happy over the top. So Happy, E-Rad on the door. He's watching those players, making sure no one comes through while he gets the not even a ninja defuse. They knew. They just couldn't make a play. They had trophy systems down on the bomb site. They were hoping to like stop something from happening, but they didn't have any guns on it. They had no angles.
Yeah, that was just terrible passive play coming out from Ghost. There was even a player, I think it was Lacefield, that was like watching the flank, which is great at the start, but at a certain point, if there's no pressure coming, you got to make a move and get some information for your team, but someone has to check the bomb. You just can't afford to have that happen. That's a pretty predictable play call, and don't get me wrong, TK executed perfectly, but still, these are just not mistakes you can afford. You can't lose a round with 4 people alive.
That was like the equivalent of being a babysitter and knowing that the baby's in the front room, but you're in the kitchen just like minding your own business. And the whole time you're like, yeah, the baby's in there. I know. It's all good. I got this. Don't worry. I got this. Don't worry. Spacey's got this. Don't worry. 2 kills ready for him. Gunjar and Accuracy have already gone down. Theory, he's looking for some. He's going for some full montage plays here, man. Over the top. Doesn't find Morks, but he's feeling it, and he's going to go back for more. You know what? I like this confidence. I like this confidence from Theory. I like this confidence from TK. Llama God goes down. It's all now 2-on-2. I'm enjoying this. It's a show, right? He's having fun.
Well, it looks like the smokes are going to get popped as well. I have no idea who threw them. I'm expecting that to be Ghost Gaming, but again, Theory, if he's hitting his shots, he's going to be doing the damage. The players from Ghost, they're just going to back off. Of course, Theory does have that bomb in hand, and you got to imagine, I would assume they lean towards B, but I guess they're just going to go and play for picks. It's going to be difficult to do. Again, 17 seconds left on the clock. Ghost Gaming, they've cleared out B, and well, now this should be easy enough for Ghost Gaming. Now they just need to make sure the bomb doesn't go down in A. That should be an easy round one, but still, it all comes down to gunfights. Mox is able to pick up one, and that second player, he's going to be doing nothing. He's got players coming in from both doors. That's just, it's a bad play call. 17 seconds left. You can't afford to wrap that around.
Still fantastic work there. You can see the angle he had just past the 2 walls there. Takes care of those 2 plays. Quick work. Lacefield even there in the corner to get 1 or 2.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Theory, every single time where he knows the player is there, he like doesn't hit the shot. He's like pre-aiming it, but then when he's like checking random stuff and players are like flying around in random spots, he hits it every single time. So like he's being weird with the sniper right now. It's like the pre-aim just doesn't work. Just let him hit the quick scopes, let him just snap. I don't know what's going on, but either way, as you pointed out, he's very confident with the gun.
Still, 4 players, Ghost Gaming now making their way through mid. Theory, that's the bad situation to be in. He's going to be dropped straight away. There's TK down a man. Oh, look at this angle from Gunjar though. Gets 1, shots out. Doesn't manage to find a second space. Morks gets done as well by Happy in the rear. What a play! Gunjar still going. Can he make another? It's all down to Llama God, and he's still alive. How has this happened? It's now 1v1. That looks so good for TK in the final minute now. TK have somehow managed to turn this into a 1v1. Llama God versus Accuracy. Let's just see how this goes in this 1v1 situation.
about as anticlimactic as possible. Comes down to a simple gunfight win. Credit, again, TK. They were able to win that 3v4. I was mind blown at the fact that Ghost Gaming, once Goonjar picks up that first kill, they waited like 3-4 seconds, and they're like, all right, we're all going to turn and just fly. We know Goonjar is great with an AR in his hands. We know he's on a head glitch, and we know he probably has teammate support, but we're just going to fly into these gunfights and just pray that it works out, and obviously it didn't.
We hope for the best. TK now on map point, looking to tie things up in this series. They need one more round. All the boys of Ghost Gaming now pushing their way up towards B. Theory managed to get a little bit of intel there. And he does hit the crazy shots. He hits the crazy ones, but he can't hit the easy pre-aims. He's so close to getting another one, though. Theory may have just opened up this map easily for his team. Can he find another shot? Tags up heavily. Great job from Spacely there to nip that one in the bud already now. 3-on-3. Spacely still managed to get away with this one. Happy and Goonjar, last two players live for TK. We're going to see this one push back. Lexial's got reactive armor ready to go, which is going to be huge. Ghost Gaming, they're probably going to have to burn that to stay alive in this matchup.
Well, ideally, you're not going to want to use that this round, obviously. You have the man advantage. You want to win the rounds as convincingly as possible, and if you get the reactive to force round 11, that's obviously a decent time. See Happy right there. He ended up fighting that gunfight 3-1. If you ask me, hey, Chance, why is Happy inside a cell block when Goonjar has the bomb on the opposite side of the map? These are questions I'm not good at answering for you. There's also times where TK just kind of randomly pushes things in hardpoint. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Either way, though, we are going to at least see a round number 10. And again, the payloads are always going to be a huge factor on the tail end of these search and destroy games. We did see Lacefield with that reactive armor. Might have to use that to force that round 11.
I love how that almost worked out for Goonjar. Like he dealt a ton of damage to both of those players. Like if that had paid off, I'd have been disgusted. And they win the match on that play, I'd have been disgusted. Theory, he has yet to disappoint, except when he misses the sitters. Still, this is it. TK still on map point. Ghost Gaming now, trying to keep this one real, trying to tie things up, push it to a round 11. See what they've got in the bag. Ghost Gaming have all gone down towards A. It's going to be a fight for the showers. No engagements just yet. And you can see TK making a very slow, methodical round. They may catch all those players. They're all on the wall runner at the moment. This is going to be an absolute flurry when it hits. Accuracy may be first one to find someone. That player in cell block right next to him. Potentially Theory's made his way in. He's got a K-bar. Things have changed. But that's okay. We can handle that. Already the engagements have gone down. 2v3 right now. Big shots. Almost managing to kill that last player there. It's still a 1v2, and that's it. We've gone to round 11. Didn't see that coming.
Didn't see that coming at all. That was a very interesting round. You see Ghost Gaming, they reacted to the lack of pressure, and they said, all right, well, accuracy is normally like in cell block, isn't he? Like pre-aiming with the ARs, no one's there. So one player went to push that out. Bit of bad timing. Accuracy was still able to return, get a kill before he gets traded, but Ghost Gaming knew the pressure was coming from a different side, but then again, it was very tough to see. It was chaotic at the end, but all comes down to those gunfights in those final seconds. Either way, round 11, Lacefield, he's got his payload. Llama, I think he runs the FTL, has his, but Theory with that active camo, you see he is like, I am not sniping. I have active camo. I'm the guy that needs to make the big play.
K-bar in hand, he's got a nade as well. See if we can't get in there dirty and do the work. This has been a very tentative start for both teams. All of TK made their way towards B, and then they booked it and they changed plans quickly, and it looks like Ghost Gaming may have adjusted accordingly, so they're going to be slowly making their way across the wall run through the outside. It hasn't been so beneficial for them thus far in the match. They haven't had too much excitement at A. Hasn't been paying off, and they're actually going to go back towards B. So, again, major changes. Not willing to give too much up, but it looks like they're going to commit to this one. It is going to go down at B. And as you can see, all of Ghost Gaming spread out across the southerly part of the map. They're looking towards A. They've got one player watching mid. And again, this is it. Goonjar's going to go down, so this is the plant. You can see those two players on the right-hand side of your screen. Number 3, Theory, he's going to be watching the flank. This is going to be huge. Now the bomb's gone down, though, they need to watch those angles. Player 2, Happy, he's also watching that Theory camo. It's just made it work. That was almost catastrophic. But that's a huge kill already. Ghost Gaming, they're down 2 men now. 30 seconds remaining.
Ghost Gaming has their work cut out for them. Llama God and Spacely, they got to pull something out of the bag. Lacefield got nothing, which is reactive. Llama God now is by himself, and TK able to turn around game number 2 and win that round 11. Major props to them, came up with the big plays, and I just need to take a moment. Why would you use camo? What could possibly trigger in that guy? Like, did they see him? because he was all the way in self block. Why would you pop it and then just sprint? Like, I know you're expecting pressure to be there, but like, if he doesn't win that gunfight, I'm yelling at Theory. Me and him are like having a, like, what?
We had a moment there where, yeah, he popped camo very, very, very early, and he was hoping for the play to be there because it was such a stale game. No movement was happening until the final moments. So he was expecting, like, the guy has to be on the flank. He's got to be hitting us soon. This is a no-brainer, right? It's going to be fine. Almost didn't work out.
It's been a thing we said, don't blind pop payloads ever. Just don't, unless you know someone's there, just don't use it. Again, it worked out in the end. Full credit to TK for coming up with big plays, but like, I just wish they just kind of take an iron and just kind of like it, you know, smooth out those like small wrinkles they have in their game. Because again, this team obviously a force to be reckoned with. They look good against Spice right now. They're up, or tied, excuse me, 1-1 against Ghost Gaming. Either way, uplink, we will get back to after this commercial break.
Hello and welcome back to the 2017 CWL Championships presented by PlayStation 4. My name is Miles and joining me is Chance, and we're going to be delivering unto you the second half of TK versus Ghost Gaming. So far, things are looking pretty exciting. 1-1. Oh, no, wait a minute. Yeah, no, it was 1-1. Yeah, TK took it in the end. Oh, I was so excited for a second. Thought Ghost Gaming were 2-0 up. But I was wrong. TK 1-1. Ghost took the hard point rather convincingly. And the S&D was back and forth, about as back and forth as it gets until we went right down to that round 11, which TK clutched it up. But now, throwback uplink. Chance, what are your thoughts, my friend?
I mean, in my mind, the way this series has played out so far is TK, they're better at making the big plays, right? Even in that search and destroy. And how many times, like, the prep work seemed to work out occasionally for Ghost where they're making good play calls, flooding bomb sites 4v4, but then, you know, accuracy would pick up 2 kills, or Theory would hit a nasty sniper, Goonjar would pick up 2 kills, or Theory would pop a camo, not see anybody, and then as soon as he runs out, take the gunfight. Thank God he wins that, and then, you know, wins the game for his team. It's just like, you know, split-second things that are going very well for TK. But again, the first respawn went towards the favor of Ghost Gaming. Quite a few players had a fantastic game. I think Spacely actually was the guy that went off over the hard point, so definitely going to keep eyes on him. But Lacefield as well, of course, with that E-Rad. Known to do some damage. Happy, though, going to be able to trade him out.
Here we go. Still engagement for mid. Players will be fighting over drone control in the middle. Mork's going to be last player alive left in the middle of the map for Ghost Gaming. He's going to do what he can to dig in. Hope to get his teammates back before he can make something work. Lovely awareness, though. He's going to be picking up those shots on players coming off a spawn. He does have a little bit of help from his team. Theory's going to be brought down there by Lamagod, and now hoping to hit those players on the flank, but Goonjar and Happy, they are going to answer back in a very affirmative way, and now they've got drone in hand making their way forward.
Yeah, and of course those lead blockers are going to be huge. Happy's actually on a 3 streak. He's leading that charge, and if he just at least creates a distraction, you could have hit the 1-point toss, and it would have connected, but Ghost Gaming was prepared. They were in the right positions, and again, we've talked about it before, very smart team, always in the right positions. They know what they need to do. Again, it just all is about that execution.
Still 1-point throw. If you throw it in, if you manage to run it through the goal, it's a 2-pointer. Lamagod now trying to make some space, work his way forward. He's going to be cut down by Goonjar. Lacefield, though, goes for the 2 and gets it. It was worth it. The Hail Mary play, he made the throw just before dying. Big fan of his work. Still Spacey now coming in from behind, trying to maintain that forward position in the spawn. All of the boys of TK is going to be eliminated there by Goonjar. Very important kill. Got to flush him out before they can call that space safe again. This is Happy now, trying to take control of mid. Does get dropped there, but you can see 3 kills for the boys of Ghost Gaming there on your kill feed, and it's lighting up things now. They are going to have mid control. They do have a lead player there. Lamagod is going to be the tip of the spear. Here comes the edge of the knife in Lacefield. And the crack of my ass, Spacely, and here we go. He does get dropped there, so well done to the boys on TK, as they are going to be defending that one very cleanly. Yeah,
it was Goonjar and Accuracy. Both had the ARs, and those are the important guys. We're in the back of the map like that. They all picked up the kills. But again, Ghost Gaming, a couple things they've already done so far in this game. The first time they were able to score, it was due to a manual pass. Of course, I think it's 5 seconds, it pops above the drone carrier's head and locates where he's at. You manually pass it up, it completely catches the other team off guard with the timing. They're going for another manual pass as well. It's basically trying to toss it to himself. Not able to win that gunfights, but at least getting yards. But again, manual pass catches them off time the first time around. The second time, they use smokes. So clearly Ghost Gaming, there's quite a bit of prep work that they've kind of pulled out for this map. Again, it's all about that execution, because right now, TK, they're having a field day. That's going to be 4 down in their favor.
Yeah, kills for both teams looking very evenly matched. No one's really going ham so far, but this is Happy. TK now on the offensive. They don't have too many players far forward. Happy's all in his lonesome. He's going to get the 1-point throw out. Doesn't manage to get net there, but Morks will be catching that one. He's got the hot hands right now. He's going to be making his way forward. As you can see, all 4 arrows of Ghost Gaming now working together. This is a very aggressive looking run, and it looks like they may have duped out TK. Can they make this one work? They got the opening kills. 2 kills over the top. Not able to make it work, though. Morks is going to be dropped. That's all dead for Ghost Gaming.
Yeah, I think it could have benefited Ghost right there if they just slowed down a little bit with the drone, because they did have Lacefield that was trying to work through on the flank. But again, nice defensive stand coming out from TK. That's the 2nd time in a row we've seen them pull that off. Spacely, though, switched away from the E-Rad, pulled out the K-bar, and well, him and Mox in tandem, they're each going to get 2 kills, and that's another clean push. TK, they're forced. They got to make the big play once again. Can they do it? We will find out.
Yeah, Chance, looks like Ghost Gaming, they're a lot stronger going forward. Here comes another smoke play, actually. They're going to be making it through Lacefield. He went for the beatdown, and now he's going to be abandoning that one, but luckily Lamagod got 2 in the back end. Is this going to be enough? Possibly over the top for the 1-point throw. Yes, that is good. 3-0 Ghost Gaming now. 1 minute 17 left on the clock in his first half. The teams will switch sides then. So far, looking good for Ghost Gaming. TK just, they're not really going far forward as strong as Ghost Gaming have been so far, but still everything to play for in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a much closer game as well. Again, TK, the 2 scoring opportunities they've really had, it's just been 2 interceptions. It's just been Ghost also making some big plays, nice defensive stand. So could very well have been a 3-2 game. Instead, obviously, Ghost, a relatively comfortable lead so far. TK, though, back on the attack. That's going to be 3 kills, nearly make it 4. Mox goes huge. He picks up 3. He gets the drone tossed off to the side and at least bought his team enough time. Happy, though, he's going to be able to turn on Lamagod. Finally, you're going to clear TK out of your base. A very crazy situation that happened. TK almost had guaranteed points. Mox went huge, Happy tried, but it wasn't enough in the end. And you see, just using those smokes just to get that drone out of dodge, keep the pressure off of your base, and now try and set up one more final attack. Lacefield, though, has got a player over by Bus, needs to finish him up because his teammates are falling around him. TK, maybe 15 seconds. Can they make something happen?
Yeah, it was looking strong there for Lacefield. Things were going great, but in the end, TK just coming in from behind, pulling the rug out from underneath their legs. And now, Boys and Ghost Gaming holding on as tight as they can. Final 5 seconds. I don't think anyone's going to be able to make anything happen here. This would be a miraculous play, but we will not be needing any buzzer beaters as the whistle will be blown. That is going to be halftime. The sides will switch. Ghost Gaming up by 3. Not the most dominant lead so far. TK again defensively. They're looking okay. They hang on at times. You know, they're not quite as strong going forward. There seems to always be a member of Ghost Gaming in the line of the goal. It's very difficult for them to get in there. But I think maybe on the flip, we may be seeing a different set of play from them. Fingers crossed, eh?
Yeah, I mean, Ghost Gaming overall, though, again, I've been kind of tooting their horn quite a bit so far, but they really just do look like an incredibly well-prepared team. Again, they're pulling out smoke strats a couple times. They're mixing things up with manual passes. You see even Spacely, he was making sure to switch classes back and forth in the hardpoint to have the right thing at hand. He's been switching back and forth between the K-bar and the E-rad, depending on the situation. So, of course, again, we said it before, generally speaking, the team that outslays their opponent wins the game 90% of the time, but Ghost Gaming, there is kind of an assurance policy, right? Like, even if you're not doing great in kills, you have other things going for you. Still, though, that drone just hanging out in mid-map.
Still mid-map. It's nice to see a team with some real strategic depth here in IW. Typically, teams just end up rocking each other. Serious gun skill, fantastic positioning, but a couple of sweet tricks up the sleeve of the boys in Ghost Gaming now. Drone in hand, making their way forward. Them hitting the field, the right-hand side of the map. Manual passing as well. This is the 4th or 5th time I've seen them do this. They're very, very keen to make this happen. Brilliant trade there from Happy and Morks there. So the pair of them cleaning this one up. Llama God may be able to catch these two players on the turn. He does indeed, but you can see that drone making its way forward. This is potentially a dunk, and it was indeed. TK managing to get that one out of the clutches of nothing. Wonderful work to get them back into this one. That's exactly what they needed, but it seemed to come off the back of a bit of a mistake from Ghost. Like, the fact that Llama God was mid-map, he wasn't in a position to slow the drone down, and in the end, it turned out to be a dunk. Now it's a 1-point game.
Well, right there for Ghost Gaming, nobody watched the flank. Goonjar just runs straight through the middle map, through underpass, flanks around blue. And again, that's a situation where if Ghost Gaming gets those kills, well, now Goonjar's out of position and Ghost probably gets a score. Instead, though, Goonjar's teammates pick up the kills. Well, now he's already by blue. He can just run underneath and you get that 2-point score very, very easily. So again, a bit of a risky play, but hey, it's going to pay dividends, make this a close game. And then once again, TK turtled up in their base just a tad, but they pick up all the necessary kills.
Yeah, TK looking a little stronger on this side of the map. Again, they managed to get their first dunk, defensively looking a little stronger as well. Here comes another play. Accuracy now making his way forward. Theory in front. He needed to get those kills. He wasn't able to make it work. Spacely will be taking care of those 2 plays of TK, and now we've got the boys in red. Ghost Gaming making their way forward again. Spacely, 2 kills to his name, and now the drone in hand, working forward. He's made it all the way to Lemons. As you can see on the minimap, there's 2 blue players, 3 blue players now in the goal of the boys of TK, and it is going to be an easy kill there. As Ghost Gaming unable to make anything happen with that drone play.
Yeah, this is an impressively tight game. Again, TK's been very impressive so far in this tournament. I know they're only 2 series in, but again, when you go toe-to-toe against Spice, even if you lose, that is nothing to shake your head about. Like, you got to have a little bit of confidence even going into the next game. And again, Ghost Gaming is expected to be an incredibly good team. I think some people might even place them in that like top 8 range. But again, TK, they are holding their own. Looking pretty good, doing everything necessary so far. Lacefield right now with the drone, showing off a Michael Jackson impression, trying to do a little bit of moonwalking. Throws that drone down, and actually the camel's going to come in. Easy 2 points.
That is a wonderful way to create a lead there. Morks with a camo play, 5-2 right now. He's also going 25-17, so that chance is a wonderful stat to have. And another double. What a kill there on accuracy. Goonjar also going down, and Morks continuing the run. This is 5 in a row. Spacely's just popped his payload as well. That is going to be another nail in the coffin of TK in this match. 7-2 with a minute 40 left. TK can pull this one back, but right now it just seems they cannot get out of the clutches of Ghost Gaming.
Well, right now you see Mox is actually calling in the streaks as well. TK, though, they're able to pick up 2 kills before anything happens. So instead of Ghost Gaming kind of rallying the score, you see TK is at least able to keep this in a bit of a 50-50. Still, though, that drone hanging down mid-map, you see Happy's able to clean up Mox. So shuts him down off of that streak, which is, you know, at least a safe thing to keep in the back of your mind.
Goonjar making that drone play forward. This is a little bit of a choke. The battle here is going to be pretty big. Gunjar laying prone, gets ripped to pieces by Morks, and then maybe another player there. So if you can't make this work, this has been a solid defensive hold from the boys in Ghost Gaming. TK, though, still managing to sneak this one forward, and they've got reinforcements now in mid. Morks needs to back up. He's going 30 and 18, a lot of kills. That's happy on your screen with Overdrive ready to go, so that's a potential 2 points if they can make it work. But they've got 50 seconds to tie things up. And Ghost Gaming now, they just do what they can to burn the clock at times. You know, they've got the drone on their side of the map, but they're not opting to play it off of the map. So they're just looking to kill the clock at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, this drone has gone from like mid-map all the way around in blue, all the way back around to mid-map. They've just been running like figure eights around their opponent. And again, as you said, it's all just about wasting time. 30 seconds, TK. Well, I guess technically it's not over, but at that point, once basically picks up that kill and he gets 2 as well, that's going to be that final nail in the coffin. Again, I think it really just comes down to, actually, no, screw like the smart plays. Mox just went 33 and 21. As soon as he went on streaks, that's when the game got blown open. So you know what? Full credit to that guy.
Yeah, first half was a little, you know, it wasn't exactly inspired play from anyone. There was a couple of, you know, we saw that we talked about the strategic depth of the guys on Ghost Gaming. But in the end of the day, it's all about Morks going absolutely huge. I mean, everyone on TK no one did terribly. But when Morks is going that big, it's just hard to do absolutely anything. And that is going to be the 3rd game going towards the guys on Ghost Gaming. Now we're going to go back to a hardpoint, which also was a Ghost Gaming win, so things are looking a little rough if you're a TK fan, ladies and gentlemen. That's TK on your screen. Everything to play for here. They've come into this series as the underdogs. They've come into the whole competition as underdogs. They've been written off in almost every case, and they've done a lot of good. They've done a lot of good. They've won me over. I'm happy. I'm happy with the way they've performed. I thought they were going to be, you know, serious like bottom barrel stuff, but I'm impressed. It doesn't take much to impress me, let's be fair.
I was about to say, like, they've done a lot well. They didn't qualify as Stage 1 or Stage 2. Their placings in the open brackets haven't been fantastic. They've been a decent team, but obviously, champs is when it matters most. This is when you can wipe away just a bad year that you've had and say, we obviously deserve to be here. But their backs are against the wall. Again, they already fell to Spice earlier on, so they're 0-1 in the pools. If they fall here, I think that pretty much guarantees, I think it almost does, that they will fall into the bottom 16. Their tournament will be over, and that is not what these guys want to have happen. They need to rally together, get those final 2 map wins, and then even then, I don't think it's guaranteed. It'll still be a bit of a tough road because then they have to play Millennium, but again, they are absolutely fighting for their IW careers here, so gotta turn up for map 4.
Here we are at Champs, guys and girls. It's everything to play for here. This is what, if you've been playing the game for an entire year, why not give it your best shot now? So we're going to be going into another hardpoint game shortly after this one, and again, as we said, Ghost Gaming, they looks a lot stronger than Respawns. Morks is going absolutely crazy thus far. He had a spectacular run in the first hardpoint map, which was, I believe it was on Breakout, and it was a bit of a slaughter, to be completely honest with you. And so far, so good if you're a Ghost Gaming fan. TK, I mean, I feel like they could pull something out. They have had a very, very good run of the competition so far. They've surprised us against Splice. Things aren't looking terrible here against Ghost Gaming, so I do believe there is enough in the tank to see through this series. But who knows how this one will go down. And then again, as you said, afterwards, Millennium. That could be an interesting one.
Very well could. You might even give TK the edge. So, again, a lot of potential there. And, you know, if you're in the comms with these guys right now, you're saying, look, we've won a search and destroy. We can do that. We just need to be able to force this map 5. And I really do. Someone needs for TK to step up to the plate, and they need to go huge. I know map 1 for Ghost Gaming, not only was Spacely, you know, having a fantastic performance throughout, but it was even him making the big plays in the end over by Hanger to kind of win the game. And TK, they had moments of life for the big plays, but lost by 8 points, and that's difficult to kind of swallow. And then, of course, last game, no one's like, you know, doing a poor job on either team. Everyone's kind of hanging around the even margin, but once Mox just starts to go off and just starts to pick up kill after kill and gets those streaks, completely blows the game wide open. So someone for TK needs to have that kind of game. We know all these players are going to be consistent, but someone has to go off. And on a map like Retail, I'm definitely looking at Gunjar. Gunjar with the AR throughout his entire career has been a bit of a force, but obviously Champs right here is when he needs to show up.
Show up, hopefully he will, for the TK fans. Chance, one thing I want to talk about, you brought up at the very beginning of the series that, you know, TK, they have a binder on them that Ghost Gaming have been reading since the, you know, prior to this matchup. I think that's a testament to how seriously Ghost Gaming are taking this entire competition. That even a team like TK that haven't exactly been on the radar of the top players, you know, this in the life cycle of IW, that they're taking these guys that seriously, that they're doing their homework on them. I got high hopes for Ghost Gaming later in the comp.
Yeah, it's really refreshing to see just the amount of effort Ghost Gaming has been putting into this. Now, granted, a lot of teams do prep work. It's not that no one else has like the binder, so to speak, but for the most part, teams will just watch VODs and gather information, and there's no telling how in-depth their information is versus Ghost Gaming. Ghost Gaming is just a little bit more obvious to see what they're doing. So not to take away credit from either or any other teams that are at this tournament. Obviously, everyone cares, but again, it's hard not to appreciate Ghost Gaming when they're pulling out smokes on the first hill hardpoint, when they're using them in the uplink, when they have trophy system used to perfection. Again, just the intelligence factor that Ghost Gaming as an entire collective team has been phenomenal to see.
Yeah, so far paying off for them. They've already got early points here on the opening hardpoint, 16-4, and a bit of a team kill there from the boys on TK. Not the best way to start this one off. Lovely flash there. Happy is going to be tagged up and brought down there by Spacey, so continuing to run this one as the hardpoint is going to end any second now. The rotation so far has been pretty clean, and we are going to be moving over to Lower Street. No one quite in position to grab that one. Kind of a lackluster run from both sides, and now they have to kind of fight over this as nobody was in position to get that one early on, so a little bit of a sloppy rotation, but still, here comes the engagement. Happy, bike shed. He's going to be naded out, but he's going to be getting those early shots in the plays from Ghost Gaming. Spacely and Llama God now, though, down in Low Street, getting those points. Happy on the street, picks up 2. What a turn. I didn't expect him to make that one work, but in the end it did. They may have lost the opening points, but now they're starting to get some time. You can see on the side of the map, this is pretty much the only direction that Ghost Gaming are going to be coming from. So TK, they've set up on this side of the Lower Street. They've got a player on the flat. They're going to be watching that cut the map right in the middle, and watch now for the push from the boys at Ghost Gaming. And so far, so good. 24 points and rising. They're looking to tie things up here on the second half point.
Well, thankfully for Ghost Gaming, after they get 3-man wiped, that they do get those close spawns occasionally. The game, it can just punish you, because TK was pushed up relatively far up the map, but they are going to be holding Graveyard, but still 7-point lead. TK, they get one good break, and they could just, easily turn this game around and take like a 30-point lead. But you see Mox continuing. The man is 9-3, goes on a 3 streak, and the guy with the AR on this Graveyard Hill is exactly the guy you need to come up big.
3 in a row, 9 kills to his name already. Happy trying to take down Morks, but not able to make it work. There's the pinch from Accuracy. Wolf almost manages to get dropped there. That was huge shots from Morks. And now still, hardpoint in control of TK. They managed to weather the storm, survive that push from them. But here comes Lacefield with a little bit of help from behind. He's pretty much all on his own at this point. Goonjar picking up the 2 in the back end, so that's going to really slow him down. He's going to try to make this play work, but he's certainly surrounded on all sides by enemies. Lovely work there. Gets Theory napping. I don't really know what was going on there, but he managed to get the kill, and it almost gets the second one on Happy as well. Lacefield doing what he can in a very tough situation. 10 seconds remaining now on the Cathedral hardpoint. Is going to be flipping soon. You see Morks now in position for that next one. We'll see how it goes for them.
And just to touch on that play for a second, that's something that should absolutely not happen. Of one single player for Ghost Gaming to be able to sneak behind lines because they didn't have something covered, and he gets the kill. In theory, never even turn around. I don't know if he was calling a scare bin or what the deal was, but still, if he had picked up that second kill, that would have been massive for Ghost Gaming. Of course, so, all or no harm, no foul. TK, they're going to be able to retake the lead.
Boys on Ghost Gaming, they actually have full control at the start of this one, of the destroyed building, but in the end, it looked like TK just did such a fantastic job of coming on through. Theory managed to pick up 2 players sitting down in the courtyard there, and now Accuracy doing God's work, taking care of Ghost Gaming, and you see Lacefield, last man alive for his team now in the bottom of the hardpoint. Again, he does have Morks now backing him up, but here comes the rest of TK over the bridge. They're going to be making their way in there. They're going to be getting the time at the same time. Happy gets dropped. Lacefield still, tip of the spear, on his way forward. Lovely work getting Theory as well. Can he find another? He's got a third to his right. Goonjar, though, talked about the skill of his AR, and now it's coming on through. Goonjar's NV4 has been doing work so far. He's going 8 and 9, but he's in the right place at the right time.
Well, so very back and forth game we've had so far. Both teams kind of making plays when they needed to. I think probably the most important thing to highlight so far, Accuracy. He did earn at least that Trinity rocket on that back hill. So now it's a situation where TK, if they get control of Grave, they can use that and they can just lock down a serious amount of time. But even if they lose the spawns, they have that tool to try to break in. Of course, still on the hallway hill. We are a ways away before he's going to pull that Trinity out. And Ghost Gaming in control and takes the lead once again.
That's Ghost in the lead. Hotel hallway, though, it's always a mess. Always crazy to see. Lacefield, he's going to be up front doing what he can. No one in the actual hardpoint in this moment. We're going to see Lacefield hopefully get those opening kills, charge on through. Lovely slide, takes care of Goonjar in an instant. Now he's going to be looking over the top for Accuracy as well. Lacefield playing a fantastic game so far. He will be naded out, but still wonderful work. This is Happy, who's going to be coming in the back again with the slide over the top. Llama God just soaring through the air, taking care of that one. Can he keep the run going? This is 2 in a row for him, and hardpoint time does get taken out eventually, but lovely work there. Still, Ghost with the lead, but only just as we see this hardpoint end.
And again, it comes down to those ARs. It's going to be huge. Goonjar is able to pick up one. He's in a decent position as well to potentially pick up more. He knows the pressure is going to be coming from Bust, but actually, again, you see the smokes get called out. That ruins the ARs. If they can't see anything, obviously they can't shoot. So you see Ghost Gaming, they're going to be able to get closer and at least contest the hill essentially for free, because obviously there's not going to be any thermals. But now, nades coming out like crazy. I guess they just did not have blast shield, because Theory, he was able to pick up 2. And again, TK takes control.
He picked up 2 pretty easy nade kills there. That looked like a walk in the park for the young man on TK. 115 and 108 now. TK trying to get back in the lead of this one. This is Goonjar fighting for... Kill him, dude. Just kill him. Like, don't make a meal of it. And in the end, he does get taken down, though. Lacefield. This is Happy on your screen, taking care of Lacefield. Still, he's got his FTL jump at the ready. Almost everyone on Ghost Gaming is not too far away from their payloads as well. And this is looking good for TK. The bridge has been theirs. It hasn't been a sweat. And this is Goonjar getting ready for the next rotation. He is getting tagged up heavily from middle there. Needs to back up, needs to keep himself alive. Spacely having a bit of a rough game on 7 and 16, but he does have all the hill time, or most of the hill time for the guys on Ghost Gaming.
Yeah, and TK are fighters, man, right now. They're slightly outslaying their team, which kind of reflects in the score, but again, you got to keep thinking about those Trinity Rockets for that next hill. So Ghost Gaming, they're going to have to find a way to burn those as quickly as possible. Inside the hill, though, you see Lacefield again. He switched back and forth between a few weapons, has the E-Ride right now inside the hill. Llama God's got cover, and you see Ghost Gaming actually has the perfect spread. They have a player covering Red Room, 2 over by Platt to watch the hallway. Then, of course, Lacefield himself inside the hill is the man responsible for steps. So good positioning so far. Looks like Happy was trying to do some damage. Going to be about a 2-2 split. And it looks like Ghost Gaming, well, they're going to forfeit the hill, but you see Llama God, he's got the positioning for Grave.
Oh, that was pretty sweet, though. Nice opening kills there from TK. They managed to get in that one. But Llama God, as you said, he's got Graves, but he's pretty much, he's going to be in gunfight straight away. He's already got Theory knocking on his door. He hasn't been taken down just yet, so he's somehow run a circle around these players and allowed Mox to come in and get the second kill. So this is huge. Ghost Gaming now, they've managed to get control, and there we go. What a way to turn the tides there. I really thought they had the early advantage there from TK, but again, heads up play from Morks, perfect timing, gun skill on point. And here comes that Trinity Rocket from Accuracy. We called it a little bit earlier, and already paying work. Does get one. Actually misses Morks there. That was surprising.
Yeah, he hit the top of the building instead of going around back. He kind of rushed into it, but no matter for the time being, because his position gets called out, and you see the damage being done. Lacefield, though, is able to pick up 2, and that's interesting as well, because you see those 2 players he killed just spawned on the opposite side of the map, and now you see more Trinity Rockets getting called in. Actually, in theory, well, there is a team kill, but if he can defend the hill, that's going to be huge. Get Spacely as well, so obviously that kind of worked out, I would argue, in favor of Ghost Gaming, because they get rid of the 2 streaks, but it's not going to be the end of the world, because TK should be in control of Broken.
Yeah, it's a favorable trade, but we'll see how this one pans out. Here comes TK. As you said, Broken is looking all theirs. They've still got players 7 and 8. That's Theory and actually sitting out back. They're not extending too far forward because they know this one's going to be coming through. But Happy now, looking for those players on the cutoff. They're going to be charging through right into his crosshair, but Lacefield, Happy's scared the bejeebus out of him. Now he's backing up. He knows those players all over him. Wow, what a transition that was, timing-wise. We just FTL'd into another player on the other team. Whoa, my brain. Destroyed building is looking like TK so far. 105 to 180. TK now trying to get back in the lead. Camo in the back pocket for Theory. Oh, wow. Morks again. 18 to 15, not huge, but so far every kill is just tremendously clutch. Wonderful work. I'm a big fan already. This is still Morks on your screen. He's just tearing folks up, getting naded in the face. Chance, this is already, I thought TK had this hard point. I thought this was Destroyed Building was theirs. Things were going great, and then Morks comes out of nowhere, and then you got Ghost Gaming up by almost 20 points.
Well, I think that might have been the time to use the camo as well. Of course, we're going to be about a tie game after. There's still 2 more players right now for Ghost Gaming trying to push inside, but they got 3 to deal with, and I expect that not to work out. The smokes and the gunfight's go in favor, so there's potential. The gunfight inside the hill, well, Accuracy is able to pick that up. He's on the 3 streak, so TK, obviously, incredibly close game, down by 6. In theory, still has that camo in the back pocket, but Llama God has his FTL, and I think Mox has camo as well. So slight payload edge right now for the boys on Ghost. But again, it's a 4-point game. Someone just needs to go off of the team.
Ghost Gaming, 3 payloads ready to go. And here we go. Spacely is going to be bringing down Goonjar. Happy smoked on the point. Smokes. I want to go talk about smokes a little bit after this one. We've seen every single map so far Ghost Gaming have run smokes. I think the only one they didn't use it on. No, they did. Every single map so far. They've loved their smokes, and it has been working out for them. 220 now to almost 200 for TK. Ghost Gaming getting ready for something special here. Llama God does get the help of Morks, and they're going to be taking that player down. Happy coming in. 3 kills already for TK. They've managed to flip the point, and they've got 20 seconds left in this hard point. They know whether this one out, because here comes Ghost Gaming. They do not want this. They do not want us to get too close, because that next hard point is going to be a real mess.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out Theory in that transition actually did burn his payload. So it's now a situation where TK, well, they're not even going to have the lead going into this hill. Mox has camo, Lacefield has reactive, and Lamagod has FTL. Someone for TK either needs to completely go off, or this will be a monumental choke coming out of Ghost Gaming. And there it is. There's the start of it right there. You burn that. The camo doesn't even get popped. Still, though, Ghost in control. They are just 20 seconds away from ending this. Still have the FTL, and Lamagod right now is beaming.
Wow, the timing on that one. Centurion has just gone down in the hard point as well. 235 and climbing TK now. They're still knocking on the door. There's the Scarab on field as well. Lamagod, FTL in the back end. He's not going to make much work. Morks over the top. Such accuracy, and he's still got camo to work with. Goonjar gets cleaned up in the end by Lacefield, and these are the final seconds. That is it. It's going to be a 3-1 to Ghost Gaming TK. I believe that may well be their COD Champs bracket dreams shattered there. What a run they had. It was rather exciting. It was full of drama, but in the end, the better team wins.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely good showing. But again, Ghost Gaming, not only are they a very talented team, the prep work is insane. Dude, the payloads of this game were just giving me heart attacks. Calling it out. They had 3 payloads. Just use them well. We watched one guy FTL into a wall, and then we watched Lacefield. He pops the reactive, and then he's like, I don't need to finish gunfights. I can't die. And then he immediately dies. I don't even know if Mox had to burn his camo. They were winning all the gunfights in the end. Again, tough situation for TK to be in. They have to consistently flood the hill. They have to deal with the Centurion. They got to deal with Scarabs getting called in. It's incredibly difficult, again, but you can't let that happen through the game. You earn 2 Trinity rockets, your opponent doesn't get any, and you still end up losing the game. Stuff like that, it just can't happen. And again, I think it just comes down to some of the small mistakes TK was making throughout.
Little mistakes, but let's look at some big old mistakes. Let's have a quick look at the hardpoint box, and here we go. Ghost Gaming versus TK. This was map number 1. It was a 250 to 242, very, very close. TK, though, the mistake I was referring to was the fact that they had a considerable lead going into the end of that one, and they basically threw it away. It was their game to lose, and Ghost Gaming took the advantage there. You can see the first few hardpoints pretty closely contested. Turbine was certainly TK's. There was some amazing plays coming out of that one. Morks had some exciting camo plays to break the final few moments. That was actually pivotal in getting the win there for them.
I mean, yeah, 250, 242, it's always going to be exciting almost no matter how that ends. And it was a pretty good finish. And then I think when you start looking towards the next map and Search and Destroy, it's for TK. They rebounded very well. You come off of an incredibly difficult loss, and then you kind of show up. Theory, the amount of confidence he brought into that Search and Destroy, he kept the sniper out the entire game up until that final round where he had the camo.
It was 8 or 9 rounds straight with the sniper rifle out. Let's have a quick look at the stats here. Again, very, very back and forth. TK with a couple of rounds between them. But again, Morks, huge work there. 1.8 KD, massive amount of damage dealt there. But in the end of the day, TK managing to walk away there. And it was a closely contested affair. We talked about the confidence of Theory. He did put up some wonderful work. But again, we felt like there was a few rounds where if he's not hitting those shots, and there was a couple times where he didn't, he couldn't hit the easy shots. He could hit the crazy hard shots of players like dashing in between tiny little cracks between bomb sites and doorways. But when it came to the sitters, he was just missing them. And it kind of feels like if he had a K-bar or an MV4 at that time, he was running K-bar mostly, he basically would have killed those kills and it would have been fine. And it's not a round being thrown away, but what are you going to do?
I mean, hey, if you get the win overall, you get the win, even when you see those risky camo uses at the end, stuff like that. But TK plays throughout. I mean, Happy was picking up 2 pieces inside the A bomb site. Theory, obviously, with the snipes, was making plays the entire time. Goonjar had quite a few moments over my medbay as well. And then Accuracy, again, making big plays over by Cell Block. So, again, it was a great team effort. It was 2 very closely contested teams. I mean, even moving into the uplink, it was sort of a very similar situation where the game, it was kind of very back and forth. Well, I know Ghost Gaming had the lead for pretty much the entire time, but you know, within 1 point for 4 or 5 minutes worth of gameplay, and it was just until Mox just kind of went off